Bay12 Motors test driver, I suppose. So this is a car that was made from in a Let's Play at the Bay12 Motors forums of the game Automation, which has then been exported here into BeamNG.drive, as you can see. So, I actually just spent about 6 hours today driving a real car myself, so I'm not going to take too much time to explain things. I'm just really going to get into things. So this is the Migrant, an off-road car with our 60 horsepower-ish windmill engine you can see up there in the bottom. It is also a four-wheel drive car, and down in the bottom corner you've got some lockable differentials as well. So we're going to take it for a lap around the track, and we're going to take it briefly to the off-road testing area. So let me get my cameras set up. I can remember what buttons I had for what. There we go. Get the driver cam going here. I wonder if this is... Yep, so we've got an automatic transmission in this. Let me get the... Well, I guess I'll set up the hot lapping thing later. So, as we head around the track real quick, we're going to... Ooh, boy, that's very leany, as you would expect from an off-road car. I believe this is about a 60-some horsepower engine, so not a lot of juice. Coming out of the Eversness there, now into Brian's Bend, which I expect is going to be no lift given the speed of this car. Yep. I believe we're still pre-anti-lock brakes. Yep. It's pretty good under braking though. Not too surprising. Our chief designer Sensei was saying something in the forums about how the short gearing helps extract the most out of this relatively low-powered engine. Through Ban Hammerhead, the chicane, and then the carousel, which I just came out of, down the back straight here, where we really get to see the true top speed of these cars, which in this case looks to be about maybe 80 miles an hour? Coming through the slingshot here, the highest speed corner on the track, there's no real need to do anything fancy in a car this slow, relatively speaking. Just kind of keep the hammer down and slide on through. Into Bavarian Bend, my nemesis on this track. Oop. And lost it through there. I can never quite get the line I'm looking for out of that. But I believe we're coming up on the off-road area. Here, perhaps it's on the other side of the thing. I can never quite find it. Well, this is the handling course, and we'll take a brief detour through here before we get the hot lap in. I think it's through those trees over there somewhere, the off-road course, and we'll figure that out before we go for speed. So it's just past that skid pad, I'm pretty sure. Kind of going the wrong way on this highway. As the years have gone by, we're now in the 1980s or so. In our this is a 1988 release, the Migrant, that I'm driving now in our Automation Let's Play. And the handling of the cars is it's gotten better, like substantially over time, so that's good news. I think if I cut across the skid pad you can see off to my left there, I can find my way to the off-road course. Almost clipped the barrier there. Somewhere around here. Ah, I see the rally track down there, so I'm just going to... This is an off-road car, let's off-road it a little. We'll keep it in the low ratio for now. I've got locking differentials. I think I mentioned a rear, a front, and a center, so I can really lay that power down. we'll see if we need to popping around the little off-road section here. As you'd want from an off-road car, great low-speed creeping ability. The very short first gear helps with climbing these steep slopes. Probably even get over some of these rocks with the ride height and the gearing we've got. But I'm not really much of an off-road driver, so I'm going to take it relatively easy, I think. Let's see how it handles a little side slope action. I'd say pretty well. Let's pop to the exterior camera real quick. Yeah. That sticks like glue. Just, like, wants to slide down the side of it even, as you might expect. A little bit of exterior view might be fun for this. Ooh, we've got like a big kind of slingshot corner here. Traction good for the off-road tires, as you, I suppose, would expect. Let's try getting over a rock or two, see how it's how the ground clearance manages. Sorry about the loudness of my force feedback wheel. Oh yeah. Oop. The bumper catches on that one. Can we get it up anyway? Let's lock some differentials and see if we can't crawl a little better. I'm catching the back on the thing here. Well, that was, I think, more than competent as far as off-roading goes. So with the chattering of my force feedback wheel in the background, I'm going to reset the car to the start-finish line and get a little hot lap thing set up for us. Spawn a new one in case I broke anything while we were rock crawling there. Alright. We'll start hot lapping, get the car into reverse for our little rolling start here, or well, standing rolling start, I guess. Alright, and we're off. Well, I'm not on the right camera. There we go. And we're off. A little bit wobbly. But again, with the off-road suspension, I can really take the high curb aggressively. Slow coming out of the S's. I usually like to see more than 60 miles an hour before I get to the exit. No lift through Brian. No need for one. Gotta remember I have no anti-lock brakes, so I gotta take this a little bit more carefully than I did previously and let overrun it a little bit. That's okay. I believe the time to beat in this car is a 3:21. That's what the automation internal test track time was. A little bit of understeer there through the carousel, and about a 1:02 first sector time, which is slower than a lot of our slow cars, but again, this is not a super fast vehicle. So I've been giving the second split at the end of the Bavarian Bend, and looking at the course map in automation a little bit, I see that's not quite right. The split is actually at the end of the straight following the Bavarian Bend, right before the Kill Rob chicane. So I will try and give you that time on this lap. computer managed a much better time through there, I think. I believe, actually I think it was a 110 in the first sector and then a 102 in the second, so I'm actually a little bit ahead of the computer's pace so far. A little bit sideways there through the chicane, but managed to hold on to it. And here through the sickle, only getting up to about 62. This is always a good test of a car's stability, and the Migrant passes with pretty flying colors, I would say. Very understeeried now here through Adam's Apex. I could feel the tires kind of skittering across. You heard it in my force feedback wheel with the microphone. Just a little lift up through Cossack. Hammer down, aim for the wall. Early braking here, and then get the power down early on the exit. So the time to beat was a 3:21, and here I am at 3:10, 11, 12, 13, 14. A much faster time than the computer turned in. The Migrant is very manageable through the corners, even if it does roll a bit, I think. Also did a good job off-road, so 2 thumbs up. And on to the next vehicle. So now that we've managed to make our way into a lot of the more, I guess, profitable markets, the larger ones we can make more money off of, at Bay12 Motors we have managed to branch out into the sports car world now. So I'm going to pop into the Rapture, a 1988 soft-top convertible with 281 horsepower V8. Now the time to beat in this car, let me get my camera properly centered. The time to beat in this car is a little bit of V8 roar in there. The time to beat in this car, I believe, is a 225. So this is our first all-wheel drive sports car. Well, pretty much our first purpose-built sports car at all, and certainly our first all-wheel drive one. So you can see there, kind of a little bit of undercladding there, I think, on the body. You've got a V8 based on actually the same V8 we had in our original Baron or premium, like, luxury car. This one it's got a turbocharger, of course, and it's also been tuned up to that 281 horsepower figure I mentioned, which is pretty substantially faster than our more power than our previous efforts with this engine. So actually we wanted to use our newer 6.2 liter V8, whose name escapes me at the moment, for this series of cars, our 2 sports cars for the day. But it actually turned out to be too large, so we had to pop back to the somewhat smaller pump stack engine, which is, as the tuning suggests, capable of some high power. So I guess we'll take a quick scouting lap and then put one in for the books. The red line's much higher in this now than it was. Having all-wheel drive, I should expect to get a lot of traction out of this. When so far I am. Now, exiting the S's at 80 miles an hour is that's an achievement. I believe this is also not an anti-lock brake car just yet. So I don't see the little status indicator. So 35 miles an hour. Took it wide through the band hammerhead and then down toward the carousel. .55 is a little bit aggressive there, but 50 will do. I think the computer had a speed of 127 through the slingshot. We'll see if we can get up to that same kind of number. A little bit faster, we'll see if you have to lift. Yep. Alright, so we stacked it, as they say, so time to pop back to the start-finish line, and we'll take another go at it. So it will take a slight lift there through the slingshot, but otherwise so far I'm very impressed with the handling. Alright, and let's give that a second try. 2:25 the time to beat on the or from the computers. Oop, it does have anti-lock brakes. Nice. I just really put my foot into it then and hope for the best as we come into these corners. I guess the automatic transmission makes it a decent entry in like the GT category over in automation. It's a little bit less engaging to drive, but the speed more than makes up for that, I think. Let's take a little lift. Make sure we touch that apex real nice. We can get back on the power. Just stop pretty early with this, I expect, to get down to speed for the Bavarian bend. I should be able to take it at about 70, the game says. No, I dropped a little below 70. That's a pretty good line through there and a pretty good split so far. So we're up to 128 or so. We're going to brake a little bit later there, thanks to the anti-lock system. It's a little bit rolly there through Kilrob, but very good through the chicane, through the sickle so far. I could probably afford to carry a little bit more speed there through Adam's Apex. Braking into Cossack. Started at 60. We're going to beat the computer's lap time pretty handily here with a 2:22.04. Let's loop around and see if I can do one better. I feel like I left a little bit of time on the table there. Especially now that we've got warm tires, we'll see if we can't improve that a little. See if I can avoid hitting the pylon there to not count up too many more laps. Up to the line. Alright, and now for a second try. A little sideways through that first chicane in the S's. And not making a very good showing here. It was a little bit iffy there through the big sweeper to end the S's. And it looks like I'm not going to beat that that time this time. Although that was actually a pretty handy slide. So I'm going to see if I'll keep it going. I have, as they say in Formula 1, violated the track's limits pretty severely. So we'll see. I'm not expecting much out of it, but worth a try. That 45-second first sector time is not perfect, but so one of the places I feel like I can make up a little bit of time here is coming through the slingshot, where I bled a little bit too much speed last time, I think. Hold it if I can at about 130, yeah. Oh, and put it into the wall. But I think the car is still drivable, so I'm gonna keep driving it. I am 2 or 3 seconds slower than last time, I think. This is a place where I could make up a bunch of time. And so far have. let's go out here through the sickle and see if we can't take a few more seconds off this lap time. Ran a little wide there, but decent exit at least. I don't think I'm going to beat it. Yep, that was a 221.766, and I also kind of bashed that fender up pretty severely. I guess I didn't hit any of the suspension parts, which is good. But that's quite a peppy car, and I'll take a 5-second advantage over the computer's time. So let's pop into our last vehicle for the night, unless I decide to do a little special bonus. So at the same time as we were designing the Rapture, we thought to ourselves, why not try a really proper sports car? So we pulled out the same, the same Le Mans prototype chassis that you saw perhaps in a previous video of mine. And I think it turned out pretty well. So this has an automatic as well. My goodness, we're all in on the automatics. So this has wider tires and purportedly better cornering grip than our friend the Rapture, but is substantially identical otherwise. It's got the same engine, similar transmission. Alright, let's get the nose lined up here and see if we can't put a lap in. To make sure I'm zoomed out. So when I'm driving in Beam, driving especially these automation exports, I use parts of the hood to tell me where the car is pointing, as I'm going around corners and trying to keep it from losing control in various ways. So because there's so little hood on this car from where the driver's camera sits there at the front of the canopy, I have to zoom zoom out some to see it. So this is, as you can see, an all-wheel drive rear-engine supercar. So pretty fancy for what started as a company making basically little, piles of junk economy cars. So let's see just how well, we'll see just how far we've come. Similar acceleration off the line to the Rapture. Very smooth through the corner. I can just on the edge grip there, but I can basically keep it flat out coming out of the S's. Again. Lost the track a bit, and stacked it pretty badly. So let's take a look at the damage. Ooh dear, yes, I've kind of bent the nose down so it's scraping on the ground now, so I guess we're going to be resetting that one. I guess I'll back it up in this view so I can at least see where I'm going. Then I will hit Control R here at the start-finish line so I can properly reset. Should I stack it again? Alright, let's give it a second try. That's a much better line through than I've been taking previously. It's got a little bit of throttle lift oversteer there, but nothing you can't handle. And now taking the carousel at almost 60 is a pretty good indicator of its speed. We got the first sector in about 44 seconds. The time to beat in this is a 221, I think. Now, according to the game, or according to automation, this can make it through the slingshot at 137, and I'm not sure we're quite going to get there. Whoop, and that's a little bit squirrely, very squirrely. Whoop, the rear at high speeds. Actually, just like my similar entry was, the LM88 that I drove in a previous video. That seems to be the downside to these rear-engine supercar style builds. And could brake a little bit later there even. I'm sure this has gigantic brakes for the weight of car, which certainly helps. Yeah, 50 is a little bit fast for that, but maybe like 48 or so if I brake to that speed. Coming up on Cossack now. Enter this at 60 some. Just avoid putting it into the wall. Some very Senna-like stabbing of the throttle there into the corner. So the brakes are excellent. That is a clear positive to this car over the Rapture. So we'll see if we can't avoid the spin there on the back straight and put in a better time, because I think we can probably beat that 221 or so the automation computer did, if we get the lap right. Yep, that's definitely, I gotta remember to brake earlier than I have been into that chicane, because that makes a big difference into the speed you can carry here into the exit of the S's. Ooh. Actually, that was a pretty good line through there. I thought I'd left the braking a little bit late, but I managed to salvage it. Again, see if we can't see about 100 and... well, still only about 127. So actually, the Rapture took the slingshot faster than... faster than I could take the LMP through it. A little bit of wall contact there, but that's my fault for trying to talk while driving. And again, a little bit too aggressive on the brakes into the Bavarian bend. But I think actually, I'm about 2 or 3 seconds faster here than I was in the Rapture. Ooh, I hit that braking zone just right. A little bit understeer coming out of Kilrob, but manageable. Ah, that was a good lap too. So again, the rear-engine car is quite hard to drive, but I think they make up for it, if they're built this way, with big tires for high cornering grip and big brakes for good stopping. Don't need to brake near that much coming into here. Aim it toward the wall and power it out. I know it's not quite the brief. I'm going to try one with a flying lap, see if I can't really put the hammer down this time. The rolling start, rather. Now, because of that instability in the rear, I do need a little bit of a lift here through Brian's Bend. But I can leave the braking very late and still make it into Ban Hammerhead with the right line. Into the carousel. Look in toward the apex, then out toward the exit. It was a 42-second first sector, which I think is a personal best for me so far, at least in our Bay12 Motors cars. Again, just the weight in the back. Oh dear, oh dear. I'm gonna lose it. Nope, I managed to hold it. Actually, in 125. Oh, hit the wall again in the same spot I did last time. That's my bad. Dip a wheel in the gravel there. I've kind of banged up the corner there pretty badly. Take it to about 100. Hi there, delayed. Good to see somebody in the chat. So out through the sickle now. If I can hold it through here, that's where I messed up last lap. So, ooh, and I can't. That was another excellent attempt that I managed to ruin toward the end. So I'm going to take one more try here and see if I can't get a good hot lap in. Ooh, awful line. That kind of made up for it. Again, about a 44-second first sector, so I'm very consistent through that first part of the lap here. Bit of a lift with the slingshot. Actually made up to 133 this time, which is nearly what the test driver in automation managed. Tried not to smack into the wall this time. Ooh. Again, kind of losing it. Some instability there at high speeds with the rear engine and everything, but pretty well salvaged. Again, I think slightly faster than I managed in the Rapture I was driving earlier. Let's get down to speed a little bit early on the braking there, but let's see if I can't make a good exit out of it at least. Alright, now, the trouble I'm having is that as I'm transitioning from the left-hander to the right-hander here and braking, the car is getting a little bit loose, so I need to make sure I finish the braking before I get on the accelerator. And it wasn't the perfect line, but it will do. Now up into Cossack. Just want to make sure I carry the right amount of speed, not too much, not too little. Drive it for the wall on the way out. Down to 40 or so through here, and then down toward the line. I think I've got it pretty well in hand, beating the 2:21 lap time from automation with a 2:16.782. So it wasn't the easiest road to get here, but I did manage. So that's the end of the Bay12 Motors test drive. So if you enjoy these cars, you can pop by the Dwarf Fortress forums at bay12forums.com, and down in the Play With Your Buddies section, a guy called Sensei is running the game, and I am just test driving his cars. So I do have one more. This was from somebody who popped in the last time I was streaming this, the Melvin BWT8, which is a 2020 sports car with all the trimmings, and we'll see if I can't get it around a little faster than I've managed these 80s cars I've been driving so far. I have driven this once before, so I'm not confident in it, but I have at least given it a try. Now, sequential gearbox here, so I get to use the paddle shifters on my wheel, which is nice. Also, stability control, anti-lock brakes, the whole 9 yards. So let's get some revs up. But the thing about stability control is that it will, you know, when you're pushing it too hard, you can basically understeer off the track. See, for instance, right there. Ooh, overran that a little bit. So I think so far I'm actually a little bit more impressed with the handling of our LMP. Part of the hard part is that, I guess because of maybe the exhaust bypass valves option, I can't hear the engine in this on the downshifts, so it's difficult for me to get those quite right, and that makes it, you know, changing gears can throw off the stability of car a little bit. But we did make it up to a steady 156 through the slingshot, so that's certainly impressive. And it cannot take the Bavarian bend at 80 miles an hour. That's a tall ask for anything, though. A little bit late there. So I am driving this awfully, but it's still going pretty fast, which is, if anything, an endorsement of its better qualities. So I think we'll have to basically not treat it like a supercar so much as just a, whoa, right into the wall. So much as, oop, and I've done some serious damage to the suspension there, so this looks like a failed lap. Which is going to take us back to, where we started, so I've got to get back to the start-finish line and you know, do the little Control R trick there again. Alright. Alright. Same car, second try. That's a little better. And this, I believe, is also an all-wheel drive vehicle, so good traction through the corners. If you don't, you know, if you don't drive it like a monkey. It actually has 7 gears, it's just not a long enough track to get up to that maximum speed. Stability control helped me out immensely through there. Ooh, not quite spinning, again thanks to the stability control, but a bad line through Bavaria. Ooh. Doesn't quite have the kind of brakes I think it needs for that. So I'm going to cheat this lap a bit, and we'll take a rolling start on the second one to see, like, to see if I can't lay down a proper time. I think in part I'm giving it guff for being a little bit too fast. You know, I'm not used to approaching some of these corners at the speed that I'm approaching them at, so I'm braking late. You know, like 70 is a perfectly reasonable speed to take Cossack at there. A little bit of Fast and Furious action. Now the first 3 gears in this car are really quite short. like a third gear to 60 miles an hour is, well, my daily driver is a Mini, and way early on the shift there, and that gets to 60 at the top of second gear, so this is shorter gearing than a car with 160 horsepower, and this one has something like 700. A little bit of a contact there, but I will let it stand. Gotta brake probably before 100 here to get down to speed in time. At least while staying on the track, jeez. Terrible line through Killer Up, but again, the power is really making me look better than I am driving this. This is a fourth gear corner, which is a bit of a surprising finding. And down to third for the final turn. I took that pretty quickly, and I'm gonna put in a blazing lap. Yeah, a 2:02.813, which is my best around this track in anything. And you know, like I said, I had a pretty long day of real-world driving, and having gotten in the laps I wanted to get in, I think that is going to be the end of things for tonight. So thank you for joining in.